Hello everyone, and welcome to another Starcraft 2 replay, and this is on Zelnaga Caverns. I'm spawning in the bottom left, and I have a Zerg opponent in the top right. I put Zelnaga Caverns back on my thumbs up list just to see if I can actually hold off the Protoss Gateway Rush with, or Stalker Rush with my new build order, but I've yet to have faced Protoss, so I don't really know yet. But this is a small map. I'm pretty sure it's even smaller run distance than Steppes of War. And the ramp is not defended awesomely like in Steppes of War. So I'm going for my regular fast expand build order, and if you take a look at the harvester count, you can see that there's something a little funky going on. And yes, it's going to be a 6-pool from Zerg. I've never done a video about facing 6-pool. It's not something I ever see at high level, but something you might see, so I'm just going to show you how to handle it. Now, on any small 2-player map like Steppes of War or this map, you're going to want to scout with your supply depot SCV immediately into your opponent's base. And there's even a way to scouting on Metalopolis or Lost Temple if he's one of the closest bases. I think I've gone over it before, I don't really want to explain it again. But there is a way to scout if he's not cross-map. And yeah, if he's cross-map, you don't have to worry about it. There's usually enough defense to throw down the fast expand. So, I did notice that he has a spawning pool, so let's back it up a touch. So I do notice the spawning pool and the fact that there's like no drones and the spawning pool is already done. So this SCV I was sending out to build my command center, yep, he's coming right back. And we're just going to wall off this ramp. And once you have this wall, it's basically a good game for the Zerg. You've already won. I basically won the game right now. And you can wall it off wherever you want. You can do it with a second supply depot if you want, it doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to speed it up some, and he's going to come in with the Zerglings. Now you're going to want to send a few SCVs to the front. First of all, you need to repair, and secondly, you need to replace any of these SCVs that happen to die, because you need to complete these barracks. If the barracks doesn't complete, then you can't repair it. But there we go, and then as soon as I get a couple SCVs out, this is going to be, or a couple Marines out, this is going to be the end of this push. That's into that. So now you have 2 ways you can respond now. You can either like throw down maybe two more barracks, get a tech lab, get stim, and then just push on them, which is personally perfectly reasonable because you have a big harvester count. The only problem with that is if by some miracle he pulls it off, like if he has good defense, or if your reinforcements don't arrive in time, or if he lands a couple nice bailing shots, then he'll be back in the game. So I'm going to do the way that guarantees the win. It takes a little longer, but it guarantees the win. I did get a scout in, I saw Roachborn. Had I seen Bailings, I would have built another barracks here. So the way to guarantee it is just to keep your economic edge. You know, just kind of do my regular build. You want to expand and get ready. You know, expand and stay ahead economically, and then just push him mid-game when you got his solid force. Never let him catch up. Now, if you're going to do that route, it is a guaranteed win, but you have to expect more cheese from your opponent. I mean, he knows he can't win a standard game at this point, so he's going to be probably throwing something at you. Usually if it's Zerg, it'll be a Baneling bust, or quick tech to Mutalisk. So had he gone Banelings, I probably would have thrown down a factory right here. That seals me off, and then quick tech to Banshees, and since he wouldn't have a layer to one Banshee would end the game. But instead I saw a Roach Warren, so I'm like, I don't really know what to do about Roach Warren. Like, how many units can you really get out? Well, I'm not sure if that was the right thing to do. But at the same time, I'm like, okay, Roaches beat Marines pretty well, so I'm going to build a bunker just to, in case of a secondary Roach rush. And now I'm ready to get some tech labs and Marauders out, and Marauders are the counter to Roaches. So again, if you look at the economy, I'm still well ahead of him, good 400 minerals, and where he caught up a little bit in harvester count because he's Zerg, and Zerg can just build drones like nothing else. He will be falling behind now, as you see on 1 base and I'm on 2, so I can pump double the SCVs. So now I believe I've scanned him. Yeah, so I've seen the layer and I didn't see what the tech was. So I'm like, okay, I'll just prepare for Nidostorms and Mutalisks. So building a supply depot here to cover my blind spots, and at the same time throwing down some turrets to cover the mutas. And setting my factory as usual, just to kind of hunt for expansions. And you can see I'm never laying them back in the game. I'm even going to go for a third expansion. Like, just don't get cocky, just continue your usual economic build. Because you got the game guaranteed, there's no reason to like, okay, I'm just going to stop building stuff because I'm ahead, and let him get back into it. So I guess his secondary idea was to get burrow. So he has burrow on his roaches. Very optimistic expansion attempt here, going to the high yield outside of my base. Which actually kind of works, because if you went to this one, I would have spotted it with my factory. So I guess I'll slow it down for this fight. See what it looks like from my view. So these turrets, although they're meant for mutalisks, they're going to work well versus these roaches. And it just happened to be moving my force out now as well. Figured I was big enough to not have to sit behind the wall. And yeah, I'll let these guys get out. Don't quite have my medevacs yet. That's kind of what I was waiting for to attack, but at the same time, you know, I got upgrades. Well, only going 1-0, but still, I got bigger size force than him, and stim pack. And now I'm about ready to make my final push. I'm kind of interested in where his expansion could be. Again, not letting, you know, staying with the economy, getting down my third expansion, just in case, because you never know. Taking out his expansion, kind of just hunting, making sure he's not a hidden expansion somewhere. I'm like, okay, let's end the game. So I do scan him, and I spot the Spire. Right there, so I'm like, okay, if he's going Mutalist, then I can definitely end him with my ground force. So I'll just build turrets all over my base, and then head in with my ground force. So there goes the ground force, taking that out, and his Mutalist, you know, they kill for your air turrets, and that's about it. That's a good game. So I guess a little review. Hopefully I got time. I want to keep this in one YouTube video. Nope, too far ahead. On 2-player maps, definitely want to go out and scout the spawning pool. So now that I see those early spawning pool, I don't build my command center. You actually shouldn't plant it until you spot it. If you have planted it, cancel, and now just go wall off your ramp, and now you basically won the game. And then your two options from here is go for a hard counter push. So just go all in yourself right now, like build 2 more barracks, get stim pack, and go, because you got the economic edge. That should usually work, but if it doesn't, you're in trouble. Or if it doesn't, you're probably back to even. Or you can go for the like guaranteed win, which is just kind of go for a longer game, keep your economy ahead of his the entire time, and just defend his second cheese attempt, because his only chance is a second cheese attempt, which will typically either be Bailing Bust or Muto Rush. Alright, so I'm going to call that the end of this video. Thanks everyone, and goodbye.